Can you explain to me how this business works from the app side? Kabam's the company you've worked with, and I don't really understand the business model. It's my understanding that apps are a crummy business model, but they worked on this Marvel game that my kids love, and I just wonder, how does that business work? Like, let's do like a unit breakdown. You sell this to whom, for what, and how's it work?
So at Kabam and Canaan, we've been looking at transformational shifts at the platform level. And the platform level is a shift like Facebook did when they went into mobile that will drive massive amount of downloads and massive amount of app installs. In the case of Kabam, the secret sauce there, the key that we unlocked was really going around and getting these licenses for IP, like we did with Marvel, and like we're going to be doing with Transformers in the springtime. That's going to be the draw that pulls in the app installs. And from there, it's all about delivering a good game that is highly monetizable. It's legit
a good game. And in the same way that Tetris isn't about a license, it's got to be a good game.
That's right.
This has been by a source, well, me and two smaller young ladies. It's a good game.
Right. It is about building a good game, but it's not just enough to build a good game.
Right.
And that's why you've seen a lot of games companies fail. They haven't had that pull. They haven't had that reason why people would download. At the same time, it's a good game that has longevity to it, that there are multiple levels within the game that keep people coming back and coming back and coming back. So it's about the initial install, and it's about the longevity.
All right, so you get the install, they love the Wolverine, they love the Hulk, they download the game. But there's a license fee there, and that license fee surely is not small. There are no dopes over there at Marvel. But I wonder, again, back to the unit cost, like where are the economics in this? Where's the revenue come from? How's the repeat revenue happen?
That is the key to building a great game. It really is about unlocking the monetizable units. In their case, it's about the virtual goods. In most cases in the App Store, it's about virtual goods. And that's why you see games being by far the largest revenue driver within the App Store for Apple.
Is that also a whale business where you've got 5% of the users paying 90% of the revenues?
Yes. There are very few consumer companies, consumer media companies, that don't generate their businesses from that top 10, 20%. And we focus on that at Kabam. Most gaming companies do that. And I think you'll see that as we shift to the next platform, which is eventually going to be virtual reality, if and when that comes.
I want to find those whales. I want to meet the person who's spending, 50 grand a year playing the Kim Kardashian game. I sort of want to meet that person. That person exists out there somewhere. But to that point, I mean, what's the special sauce? I mean, you suggested the license is a special sauce. I would say to you, if that's all it is, that's not very special.
It is very special because some of these licenses are extremely valuable. In the Marvel case, obviously. In the Transformer case, they obviously are.
And you've locked that down across all games.
We have Kabam has locked that down across certain IP within Marvel and Transformers. And then on the other hand, there are fantastic games that have been developed that don't have third-party IP and that can be incredibly valuable. It's just that right now, we
saw that with Candy Crush and
exactly.
King, right?
There is a huge concentration within the successful gaming community, and they have locked down that top 10, top 15 grossing in the App Store. It is very difficult to penetrate that now because games are such a competitive ad sales market. It's just highly, highly expensive to buy those installs now.
So from your role as a venture capitalist, you find these guys, you make investments with them, you help them grow the company, you help them not screw it up, hopefully, or inspire the genius that they come with it naturally. But how do you try to find other investments of this sort?
Gaming is an incredibly difficult market, and I'll tell you, the Kabam story at Canaan was one that was not short. It is a story inside a story inside a story inside a pivot. The relationship with the entrepreneur was incredibly important. That level of trust that we had with the entrepreneur, with Kevin Chu, the CEO, whom you've had on many times, was frankly a key part in continuing on with the company until they reached that success point, which they did. In gaming generally, it is incredibly difficult from the get-go to predict a success, which is why in most cases, game companies only get venture financed once they have reached some sort of success metrics.
It's a hit-driven business.
It is a hit-driven business, but unlike the movie business, it's not one that dies off after a weekend of success. It can continue for years and years and years, like in the Kabam franchise case.
Do you need, therefore, if it's a hit-driven business, to sort of use the venture capital phrase, spray and pray? Would you know lots of releases because you don't know which one's going to take? Or conversely, do you have to stick to your knitting and focus? I'm over metaphorizing here, but do you have to stick with a couple of games to really make sure they're good because they need to be that much better than the average game? That's
what has changed in the market over the last several years as the App Store has become increasingly concentrated and congested. Really, you need those big, heavy franchises, those Marvels, those Candy Crushes, any of the ones in the top 10. They've stayed in the top. Whatever. They've stayed in the top 10 for years now. So it really is about building the mega hit, not assuming that you can build 10 okay hits, because you can't afford anymore to.
It's really quick. Is that because development costs have gotten so high?
It's because development costs have gotten high. It's because install costs have gotten high.
Right.
And that's why the leverage of the third-party IP can come into play. It can artificially bump you up in terms of the app installs because that property, the Marvel property, the Transformers property, is so exciting for users.
Which in install cost suggests marketing. Marketing is why whatever you're doing on your phone, you're getting a hit up for ads, for games.